My name is Rhapsody, his name is sneakyteak, and welcome back to the ladder streak. How's it going, bud?
It is awesome, and I'm excited to play my favorite child.
Ooh,
Silent.
wait, the Silent is your favorite?
Every one of my children is my favorite child, Rhapsody.
Do you find that you also cycle having favorites, or do you actually have the Silent a little bit higher than the others?
The truth is, if I had to pick one, I would pick Ironclad, because the ceiling of ridiculous is pretty high for this class. Although lately, Defect has been pushing for that. But my first favorite was Silent. For the longest time, I said Silent was my favorite because I like her two modes, the super careful, deliberate setup play, and then the super explosive play, and you kind of get both sides of that. So I just think she's a really, really wonderfully balanced class.
It took me a lot longer to get into the Silent than it did to obviously get into the Ironclad, because the Ironclad's kind of like more of a base class, but my favorite cycles around consistently. Like every other week, I'm like, it's the Watcher now it's the Defect, it's the Silent, you best believe it's the Watcher, it's the Shopkeeper, it's now the Ironclad.
It's the bug, right? It's the bug knight. Yeah,
it's Bard.
Just cycling into
it's Bard a lot of the time when I'm playing the mods. But in
is
particular,
it a negative reaction? Are you moving because you decide you liked your last child least?
No, it's better. Like I have a better run with the next class, and I'm like, this is my favorite now. But Silent took longer for me to get into because it took me a longer time to actually go, okay, let's start using defensive stuff. And I was very enamored with the idea of just going for a deck that would blow enemies up with poison, but somehow never take a hit, or would use a bunch of shivs, but somehow never take a hit.
Right. That's so fascinating. I kind of feel that same way about Monster Train as we're discovering it is like, oh, you can do this? You know, it's that same novelty of power. Yeah.
Oh god, Monster Train has so many levels of that for me, especially with like different class combinations. I'm like, it's like 25 different combinations here. Well, how about we jump into this Silent run here?
Yes.
I will mention, before we go all into the strat here, at the end of this ladder streak video, I am going to be describing a little bit of a special thing that I'm doing on Twitch soon to celebrate becoming partner. It's playing through Fallout New Vegas. I'll talk about that more at the end, though.
Super excited for this, y'all, and I'm excited to beat the heart and be able to talk about it more. So that's the gambit. Also, why do we keep having these base two? What's happening outside of stream, Rhapsody? Like, what's happening?
It's off-camera runs. It's just off-camera runs through and through.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
I'm pretty mad about it because obviously we're not going to be able to get an elite, and we're just getting the 3 easiest enemies with the +1. Do we want to go for the 7 max HP instead?
You know, we could take 3 free fights and it actually might not be terrible. Honestly, like Silent, of all the classes, the class who's most happy to do this and not take elites with it is Silent. I pretty much don't take this with the other classes unless it's to snipe an elite.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
who's our boss, may I ask?
Ah, that's a good question. That is the Hexaghost.
So, I'm curious to hear your take. I will say that I have lost enough Hexaghost runs because I didn't set up sufficient scaling damage that I have trouble skipping Deadly Poison here, even knowing that we're trying to prep for elites.
Yeah, Deadly Poison 100% was going to be my pick as well.
Cool.
I love a good Deadly Poison. I love a good Catalyst. I love it. Ooh, you best believe I love a good well-laid plans. I'm not even going to let you put in on that.
No, don't. Please don't. You want to merchant?
I kind of want to go for the card choices here.
All the fights?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have another merchant later in the act?
That's a good question. It depends, I guess, on our path. I was thinking of the rest elite rest so that we can get some early upgrades. Yeah, there's a later merchant between 2 elites if we want to go for that. Or we could go cut off for the empowered elite, and there's a merchant after that too.
So the one consideration for the shop is actually, for Silent particularly, less cards, more potions. Being able to pick up like a fire pot makes it so much more tenable to take that triple elite path that you just described. And then we could still take 2 fights afterwards, but yeah, I have trouble skipping this.
Oh, whoa.
Do we have enough money to Catalyst and Dash? Oh no, we're barely off, aren't we?
16, 130, 146.
46. Yeah. Dang. That's really tough because Dash is like the elite killing card. It's like a solid card to pick up here.
Yeah, that was part of my evolution of play of the Silent, was realizing, I think this was Ascension 15 plus, where I was like, I'm going to take the first Dash I see.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to work ultimately into my deck, because at the same time, I was still in the mindset of, if this doesn't contribute to the end deck that I have in mind, I don't want to take it. It was one of my first kind of breaks of that, of this is good enough against elites that I'll take it.
Okay, but do you want to get the biggest damage numbers?
I do. I like big damage numbers.
Because I do think that we can actually take this Catalyst.
Catalyst backflip?
I was even thinking Catalyst. This is kind of a hedge, but I was even thinking Catalyst Flexpot, just to get that little bit of extra oomph against a potential Gremlin Knob, so that we can still take the elites. But I can be convinced of Catalyst backflip. We do have deadlier elites this time.
I slightly prefer Catalyst backflip here.
Okay.
Part of it is due to the fact that we have 2 more looks at cards before we go for our first elite. I mean, even then, we can also go for an upgrade before the first elite, so we get 2 as well as a look at a card. I think we can get an aggressive card in there.
Let's do it. We're going to want this card anyway for consistent block and cycle. I can dig it.
Great.
This start would horrify me at Ascension 20. But we're not playing Ascension 20.
No, we are not.
Do we
How
even
do you
need
feel about caltrops? Specifically, we are going to the heart, so anytime I'm thinking about going to the heart as the silent, I'm like, end deck wants caltrops, Hexaghost wants caltrops.
But we are on floor 4 already with a deadly poison, a well-laid plans, and a catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
This may be the run to where, like, if we take caltrops here, it may be for birds, or it may be for tri-sentries actually.
Yeah.
It is a solid card. It's a lot of damage, and there's a chance that we don't find the explosive poison scaling that we have kind of premeditated at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I could go either way.
So either way for you is
great.
caltrops or dagger throw for damage, or is it caltrop skip? This is not a card.
It is sometimes.
Is
I
it?
love it. It is. I've had so much value with outmaneuver in the past. Yeah.
Oh.
It's particularly like, it's one of these cards that's kind of niche, right? Like, you need to be very energy starved and have particularly big cards, or you need to like have a runic pyramid in a setup of some kind, or you need to have ice cream, or
That's exactly the only thing I can think of is runic pyramid with the setup.
Yeah. But I've taken them. I've taken an upgraded one. Unupgraded. Yeah, I guess this is caltrops or dagger throw over skip. Yeah, I agree.
I think also because we have so many different upgrades that we get on the first floor, we can get like caltrops upgraded, neutralize upgraded. I mean, if we end up veering off here and only taking out 1 extra elite, we could skip that shop, get another upgrade, and get deadly poison and catalyst upgraded.
Wow. That's a lot of value.
It might be actually too much value. Someone needs to take some of this value away from us.
There is a limit. Well, the question is, how much hemorrhaging do we have to live with in order to take all that value, right?
Very, very, very true. Ooh, I love when they make you vulnerable and then decide not to hear you.
That's totally true. It's only 1 vuln. That's so funny. Here, take this catalyst. It's a gift.
Mm-hmm. From me to you? Oh no!
Do it.
Wait.
Take the deadly poison.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna make the argument for the quick slash there for the damage.
No, 2 sources of poison. It's rad.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it. We can do this.
Looking at this deck right now, I'm like, Gremlin Knob is possibly in the next space and sucks. So I want the upgrade on the neutralize first.
We have no potions?
None.
Is there a consideration that if we don't upgrade deadly poison, we just fail to kill Gremlin Knob at all?
Yep.
Yeah.
Should it be deadly poison or catalyst with 2 deadly poisons in the deck? I mean, because the draw order matters. Like, if we get catalyst first, then it's awful. But if we get it second...
That's why I usually go deadly poison first. I'm always shocked by how much more it is.
All right.
I would do this, but I don't think you're wrong on the neutralize, and it's good everywhere. And then it could always be this, and maybe this made us want to upgrade, caltrops or something. Who knows? We're gonna take some damage here.
Oh yeah, we definitely are. It's I'm just thinking of that empowered elite, and I'm like, that's either the Lagavulin or the Gremlin Knob, and I'm trying to think of the different modifiers that they're gonna have on them, because in particular, regen is kind of annoying. But I mean, is regen annoying? It's just like anti-poison, kind of.
It's kind of like an anti-noxious fumes. Exactly. actually, it doesn't scale that way. So it's like a linear damage buffer. I don't know. This might be all right. This might be all right. And you know, my ideal outcome is that this fight drops like a glass knife and a fire pot, and then we just go right and take the empowered elite.
Oh hell
That's
yes!
the crazy value, right?
I'll settle for a dash. I don't even have to go all the way for a glass knife.
I can settle for dash, sure. Or you know, in between, we get instead of going aggressive, we just get the Wraith form here and upgrade that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, since we're imagining.
Very keen on it. Or we get Prismatic Shard from this. And
Yes.
And our next Prismatic Shard wouldn't affect the current card choice. Damn it.
And it also is only from shops. But look, we're imagining. You know, this is.
Oh yeah, it is.
This is not about what's real.
Mm-hmm.
It never has been about what was real. You know, so this is the fight that most demands absolute filler content.
Yeah, because
and I really like tri-centuries, but it's like this like loses speed runs. This fight single-handedly just says you will take too long on this speed run.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 15 turns of trying to click the one defend card and the one attack card. Oh my god, dude.
It is. It's just
yeah,
take that move. Yeah.
I would take it and upgrade it. Actually.
Are we still going for the empowered elite, or are we cutting off to this side with the two elites? I mean, this is a lot of question marks as well.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think I really like fights right now.
Ooh, like you want to go out here for the extra 2 fights? I like it. I like it.
Yeah, we have a especially with that particular upgrade. And this too, wow. With that upgrade, we're so much better at hallway fights because we have some real AoE that it's hard to say no. Oh my gosh. Okay, so
it's Crippling Cloud, well-laid plans to hold the deadly poison. We let Catalyst cycle. We poison through this whole cycle. Then Catalyst for the finish, right?
And there's 3 defends and a backflip ahead of us.
There should also be Survivor and yeah.
This is plus max HP. Do we also poison pot turn 1? Or are we not going to need it?
God, is this going to be a situation of having to figure out exactly how much poison is inflicted every turn?
This may be a math it out kind of situation. Okay. This may be. It definitely may be. Crippling Cloud is 7, Poison Potion 6. We're at 13, 12 next turn, and then we could Catalyst for 24. I'll say this. With that much poison, we can definitely just block for 4 turns while we win, right? And so that's good. The alternative is about half as much poison. I think we are playing Poison Potion here. I think we are. I mean, we have more Deadly Potion to play out, but then we're not getting to block as much. It makes the hallway less aggressive. I think it's worth.
So do you, with the extra amount of poison on them at the moment, want to hold the Catalyst instead of the Deadly Poison?
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Because doubling this to 24 is like we've done the damage.
Oh, I was kind of hoping that, and we got it.
Even better. Even better. Now we've really done the damage.
I mean, I would have liked an extra defend that turn.
Agreed. But we'll get it. We'll get them all here. Oh my god.
That'll do. I'm not even going to hold anything in hand. The enemy's dead.
Yeah, they are.
That's one thing I really like about the about poison builds is if you've defended against an attack and you know the enemy isn't attacking next round, it's like, I know you're dead. You know you're dead. Just delete yourself from the screen already. I gotcha.
Yeah, it can make it awkward to. Ooh, yeah. That one doesn't need a lot of discussion here, does it?
Yeah, we're going for a full-on defensive deck here.
This is like the killer pre-Ascension 20 build. This was the backbone of so many decks. Was like a Noxious Fumes, a couple Footworks, and a Catalyst. You know. So yeah, right. It's interesting. It definitely seems like Crippling Cloud is probably more block than Footwork Backflip, just because it's block over 2 turns and it destroys the Louse.
Yeah, I'm thinking Crippling Cloud, just strike the Louse and let the round end take 8.
Crippling Cloud strike and yeah, that's really good. That's really good. That's a huge block. From 17 to 8. 9-point block, and we've accelerated the fight. Yeah. That's kind of the question for us to answer next, though, right? Is how do we go from that turn to a turn where we're full blocking? Because that's the way to continue to be really aggressive on fights. And the answer could just be energy, honestly. Like, it definitely feels like we benefit a lot from a 4th energy right now. Mole backflip.
Yeah, that guarantees the extra energy being a huge benefit for us. I mean, also we're holding an extra card a turn, which is kind of pseudo draw, so again, extra energy required.
The big thing that pushes me into this backflip is that we also have a footwork, so it's not even that bad to only block for 5 because nothing really blocks for 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I agree, we've gotten 2 backflips in the deck before we've seen any extra energy. It's aggro.
It's pretty. My worst case scenario is we get past the Hexaghost and the Hexaghost offers no energy.
Yep, it's possible. And then all of a sudden we want outmaneuver. No response.
We're never going to get outmaneuver. I'm just not taking it. I won't click on it. I'm sorry. Unless it's the right choice, of course.
Yeah, right. And that's the position.
Yeah, which it never will be, so I don't have to take it.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, that escape plan is just free defense for us right now, unless you want to set up for some reason.
No, not yet. I actually do. I think setup is this just the YouTube channel where people start to discover that I dark horse pick like every single card in the game? I think setup is underpicked, but it's not here. Not here.
Yeah, it's escape plan, right?
Yeah. I really like the escape plan here. I think it's great.
Great.
Setup is like when I've really liked setup is when we're energy strapped like this, and then we also have a nightmare, a wraith form, one of these big 3 cost things that you really want to play. Oftentimes you can use setup to cheat it out, and even on a better turn, right? Like delaying wraith form is often just better than the alternative.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've started to look at setup kind of with that sideways eye of so many other cards that I've reevaluated, wondering like, did we get this wrong? Because we've kind of dismissed this card for a long time, but I've actually had it really roll some runs recently. So I don't know. It's all situational.
I've been in situations in dailies where it's come in handy, but I mean, just without the runic pyramid, I always have a situation where if it takes 2 or so cards in hand to activate the effect, and the effect is not significantly more powerful than 1 card on that turn and instantaneous, I'm like, this is like, I need both of these cards in hand at the same time in order to activate this, and it's not even giving me an immediate benefit. This is a huge amount of setup for no benefit. But Silent does have access to the ability to immediately draw off the top of the deck.
Right. Right. And it's not just energy. Oh my gosh.
Blur.
I think it's blur. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the way to even out even further, and it makes that we are like definitely taking a burst, and so now it's even better. I love this blur. Yeah. Very defensive deck, but we're through the Act 1 elites, so we can do that.
Because we have Crippling Cloud as well for another 2 weakness, I'm kind of okay with not upgrading Neutralize here and instead going for the well-laid plans.
I dig it. Or Footwork.
I could go Footwork, but we already have the kind of Footwork upgrades in that.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Okay, so here's another way to think about it too. And this might be the wrong way to analyze, but as I get closer to boss fights, I start wondering, how do my potential boss relics affect the reward? And I'm really confident in our Hexaghost fight. We're on 32 health, and we have a block potion, and it heals us. Yep. And like, yeah. So what if, as an example, we were offered Fusion Hammer? This is a common one that I think about.
Oh.
Would we take it?
Actually, I think that stands for my point. If we were offered Fusion Hammer, the upgrade we want here is well-laid plans.
Yeah. I agree. But what if we're offered Runic Pyramid?
Right?
So this is how you never make decisions. I think you paralyze yourself.
I think if we're offered Runic Pyramid and we've already upgraded well-laid plans, we don't need it as much.
It's true. But it's guaranteed value on turn 1.
So it is, but we also have a lot of difficulty with the energy right now, and the Runic Pyramid is, if anything, going to make that a bigger problem for us.
Yeah. I'm behind this well-laid plans upgrade. I love to walk down that path. And then you're wondering, like, what if we were offered Snecko? Would we take that? Nice draw. Wow. That is awesome.
I'm going to just well-laid crippling and then hold Deadly Poison and Survivor.
Love it. I think with the crippling online and the Deadly Plus, like, we've got enough scaling.
Yeah.
There is a world where I held both poisons, but this is not that world. But that world does exist. Surprised you didn't caltrops there.
No, I mean, it's
we don't
damage.
need that linear damage. Yeah.
Okay, so we go to 36. I'm kind of okay with just going for the poison right now.
Absolutely. I think a really common mistake with Catalyst that I used to make constantly is trying to hold to like get the kill with it.
Yep.
And that is like lost value for sure. If you're cycling your deck multiple times to try to make 200 instead of just immediately getting to 50, like you should have just gotten to 50.
I do think that's like another situation that I used to run into. Actually, like, no. The same thing occurred to me recently when you were talking about strength scaling in the Ironclad.
Yeah.
In particular, in the Ironclad, I will strength scale until I can kill the enemy with a single strike.
In one hit. That's right.
That's where I want to go with it. But you were talking about strength scaling and saying 4 strength is enough scaling. Like, past that point, you should be executing on your scaling. Yeah. Not always, obviously. There are, edge cases, but still.
Yeah, and you're not going to say no. Like, if a door-to-door sales limit break comes to your house and says, hey, I can give you 200 strength, you're not going to be like, no, sales limit break, please leave. I don't want your 200 strength. You're going to take it.
You don't look a gift limit break in the mouth. You don't.
Because it's a scary place, It's a scary place.
Alright.
Yeah, I have frequently found that Ironclad can beat the Heart on 4 strength. And that's like enough. If your deck is able to consistently execute on that and turn it into things like vulnerable heavy blades or something, you're going to win.
All right. There's our kill.
But my favorite Ironclad run, well, anyway, that's for another run. Let's see this.
So it is. I am looking for Corpse Explosion. Okay. I'll settle for Glass Knife. And obviously, you've still got your Adrenaline Wraith form. Those are really good. You can't make me do it though.
Look, we've got well-laid plans plus. We've got 2 backflips and we've got a problem killing things quickly sometimes because of energy. We've got an escape plan. Please.
I took it.
Oh man. Ooh. Oh, this is a fascinating pick. Oh god. What are you thinking? I have a bunch of thoughts, like too many.
I'm thinking that there are elites next floor that will be really, really rough unless we have the ability to play more than just 2 defends and an attack next turn.
For what it's worth, I don't think this is Bell, and I do really like Bell, but I don't think this is Bell. I think it's Slavers or Velvet Choker. The question is it ever Velvet Choker?
We could prevent Velvet Choker from ever choking us by not really taking much more in terms of like, your cantrips kind of situation in 0 costs.
Yeah.
Like, we could prevent it choking us, but a lot of the things that will choke us will also be really good setup for Grand Finale. Obviously, you've got Prepared, you've got Escape Plan for a single draw, you've got, a bunch of cards that you want to play before an Expertise for another variable draw.
Yeah. I think there's a chance that we can stick to playing only 2 of those a turn, and then we still have 4 really meaningful card plays, especially with things like Crippling Cloud. I'll take the strong position that I really do believe, based on what you just said, that we can play around this Velvet, and it might save us a ton of health in hallway fights. So I think it's worth a strong consideration here. And I agree that there's an end game where we're like, oh my god, we've been offered a burst. We keep picking up Cloak and Dagger even though we shouldn't be. We picked up 2 Prepareds and a Tactician. Like, we're really struggling against this Velvet Choker. But right now, I think if we take Slavers, we have to be ready to hemorrhage quite a lot of life in the first fights. Maybe Toy Ornithopter is the reason that we're allowed to do that. Actually, that you could convince me of that. You could convince me that the potions and Toy Ornithopter allow us to take Slavers so that we can play around potential 7-8 card hands. I believe that. I know, right? This is kind of a recent thing that I've started hitting, is I've started taking the high downside card or energy more often just because of so many Act 2 losses. When you're trying to path well and you just like hemorrhage 10 life from Shelled Parasite, 15 from Chosen, 8 from Birds, another 14 from Snecko. Like, those fights can really burn a run.
Yeah, I think like In particular, I'm thinking about the angry avocado, and I'm thinking about that.
Yep.
I'm thinking about that snake plant.
Yep.
And I
They're
I
heavy.
don't like our chances against either
Yeah.
of them at the moment. We do have we do have defensive relic set.
Yep.
But I'm actually coming more around to the point of the Velvet
Yeah.
Choker. The big reason in particular for me, like that I hadn't mentioned before, is that well-laid plans makes me feel much happier to take it, because if you
Right.
can't execute on what you wanted to do this turn and you just did setup,
Then
you can
delay it.
execute next turn. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's smart. I think we should do it. I do think Toy Ornithopter gives us a much better chance of getting away with slavers than usual, and maybe we try to take a regular fight sparse path, but I think this gives us more options.
Excellent.
Which is a weird thing to say about Choker, right? Yeah.
It is
Love
kind of it is weird, but also I do like that we get to take things like Velvet Choker, Grand Finale, a lot of other things that are not necessarily always highly prioritized by newer and even intermediate experienced players, because a lot of people will just read the downside of this and then never take it. And I know over the course of my series playing this, like, even if I take the Velvet Choker and never get choked in the run, there will usually still be a comment of, God, I can't believe he takes the Velvet Choker. It's like,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
So I really
it
like
sets
being
more
able to
energy.
demonstrate the value of being able to play around this.
Totally. Love it. Solid start.
All right, well, it is such a solid start, and we've got those choices to make in the next act that is linked in the description down below. Hope to see you there.